Let's talk about another song. This one is called Memory Song. The lyrics shift from one lone black gay boy I knew who chose to turn his back on the Lord, then shifts from that to all those black gay boys I knew who chose to go back on the, who chose to go on back to the Lord. Break down what you're doing there.
Yeah, so that song is its own strange loop because it began inspired by a friend of mine who I went to graduate school with, who had written a song about being a young black gay man who um, was sort of having like a conflict between his sexuality and sort of religious upbringing or something. And I just was really struck by it. And so in my notebook, I was watching him perform the song in class, and I wrote in my notebook, all those black gay boys I knew who chose to go on back to the Lord. And I wrote that because it reminded me of boys that I knew back home who were constantly having this sort of like back and forth with themselves where they would like had sexual encounters with other men or young boy or young other teens or older men, and then they'd like go and pray for forgiveness, and it was this whole cycle, and I was very interested in that, and but then I thought about myself who also was coming out, but I wasn't really. The conflict was that I needed to get away from the sort of religious overtones of everything, and so I wanted to sort of celebrate sort of this community that I was from, but also that I felt a little set apart from in a way. But then also what ended up happening just in the general arc of the show was that the very friend who had inspired the song like 15 years ago passed away from AIDS related complications because he had been sort of hiding his HIV diagnosis and had not been seeking medical treatment for it, and things sort of came to a head, and suddenly that song changed, like without me even having to do anything. And so there's this, for me personally, how I experience it is that there's, Usher, who chose to turn his back on the sort of the ideology that he was raised with, and then there's his, cousin Darnell, who was sort of consumed by the fire of that ideology. And I just sort of wanted to show that duality.